We're heading to extra time, but there's still 5 minutes to play here, Mark. And by all means, there could be more chances. Still in the box, and it's another goal! And it's Andre Cole, the hero for Croydon! We thought it was over, but it's not over, and Croydon look like they're going to go all the way to the win.
We can't say that now.
Here goes Yuki Sasaki into the area. Penagaris, Chrissy Penagaris. Adelaide Comets have taken the lead.
Falcon there, but it leaves Owen Windsor. And a third for Metro Stars.
Here's Emma Ryan. She's not one of them because she's from Darwin. The shot from DeCola. Oh! Lily DeCola scores in the cup final again and wins it for West Adelaide.
As the ball cuts back here to Odenwalder. And James Odenwalder scores. He makes it 2-0 for West Adelaide on the day.
I bet he was going to be Travella if he puts one in. He goes himself instead. And it's still Soy Sakani. It's unbelievable, David, as well. And that one is definitely going to be credited to him.
Will have to be chased down by Rapuano. He'll put in a cross of his own. Hobbs wasn't able to capture it. It's in! It's not the one that seals Adelaide Atletico promotion.
I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too. Yeah, we're doing this thing.
Hello, welcome to One Game at a Time. It is the 29th of April on a Wednesday. I'm Seb O'Neill, as always, and joined by my three co-hosts. My question for this week, I'm going to go to Alessio first, is say you're at a party and there's a bag of party mix lollies, and it's a new bag. What's the lolly you're going to first?
Not knowing what's exactly in them, but I think strawberries and cream, are they in them?
Yeah.
I'd probably go for them
answer. Perfect. Mark, for you?
One with Alessio, strawberry and cream, followed by milk bottles.
Okay. And David, finally for you?
I like anything that's Coca-Cola flavoured. So you get Coca-Cola flavoured Chupa Chups, don't you?
Yep.
So I'll go for them. Love me Coca-Cola.
I'll accept that answer. Perfect.
Excellent.
As always, we'll go with our picks of the week. I will start off as we had another cup draw this morning. The quarterfinals of both the women's and men's, starting with the women's cup draw. Monbury Vista playing against Adelaide University. West Torrens Burkalla against Flinders United. Campbelltown against West Adelaide. And Adelaide Comets versus Salisbury Inter. Of course, we'll go on the results a bit later on in the show. But all WMPL teams left, David. And some interesting fixtures out of those four.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, aren't we? I did reach out to some of the coaches to get their thoughts. Are you okay if I share that just now, Seb?
Of course. That is brilliant.
Campbelltown City drawing West Adelaide at home. Campbelltown coach Joey Rikiki said, we've drawn West Adelaide, a fantastic side. There's no doubt about their quality. But these are the games we want to be involved in. It's a great test for us and a chance to measure where we're at mid-season. We've got belief in our group, especially with the form we've been building. and will approach it with confidence while respecting what they bring. And Costa Jaric, who this week, by one of the commentators, was compared in his good looks to Marat Safin. I don't know if any of you guys saw that in one of the chats.
Indeed.
And it's actually not a bad lookalike, that. And maybe a compliment for Marat Safin more than Costa Jaric. But anyway, Costa says a fascinating draw. Only 3 of the 6 teams to make semis in the last 2 seasons remain, and only one of them that's won it in that time. That's West Adelaide, of course. And the fixture Comets and Inter, that's going to eliminate a team that has current momentum. I also reached out to Adelaide Uni's Duncan Song, who've drawn Modbury Vista away, and his reply was, ask me again after Saturday. That's all he had for me. So I don't know what that says, but no, look, this is us getting down to the nitty gritty, as we said. This is for a spot in the semis, and I'm looking forward to seeing these games played out.
Yeah, of course, Duncan Song, a former coach of Modbury Vista, so going back to a former club as well. The other part of the draw, the men's side of the draw, was drawn Cumberland versus Adelaide City, Fulham versus West Torrens Burkalla, Adelaide Atletico versus FK Beergrad, and Para Hills versus Adelaide Cobras. It's a very interesting group of teams, to be honest. I think in previous years, you maybe lacking a few. It's an even split of 4 and 4 State League 1 NPL teams. 3 of the State League teams are hosting in these fixtures. It's a very interesting end of the cup, isn't it, Mark? I don't think anybody would have predicted even half of these teams to be here.
Oh, no, well, we certainly didn't, that's for sure. But no, it certainly is. But I'm excited in the fact that there's cup sets that are there that can happen. But I'm also upset that it makes it harder for the State League 1 clubs to get through to the next round as well. So yeah, but it is very enticing for all those teams. I mean, you look at it, and the State League 1 teams are in fine form, not only in the cup but in the league as well. I mean, Cobras were flying. They had a couple of bumpy spots along the way, but it leads for a great next round. And like I said, who knows what's going to happen leading into the semis? I mean, it's really up for grabs when you look at it.
Yeah, I think I did say, Alessio, in one of our chats, in my opinion, it is probably Adelaide City / Burkalla's, maybe even Beergrad. It's between those teams, probably their cup to win, possibly.
Yeah, I think that's probably what most people would expect seeing this draw as well. I guess a lot of people maybe would have expected some of the NPL teams to get themselves or each other, and then some of the State League 1 teams to do the same, where you might see a fairy tale get into a chance at making it in the semi-finals. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens in this stage. I mean, all these State League 1 teams that are in it are in some very good form themselves. Like, I would probably say these are probably 4 of the top 6 expected in the State League 1 this year. With the others missing out is probably Raiders and Modbury Jets. But I think they're the best case to try and push some of these teams, and especially, as you said, a lot of them hosting the NPL teams. It could come for a bit of an equaliser some of these grounds.
Absolutely, very much looking forward to that round of the Cup. My second pick being greedy this week. We don't really talk about A-League stuff, but I think it's probably suitable this week. Adelaide United finished second on the A-League men's table, thankfully, to Luki Ivanovic coming on late. Ridiculous ending, got a yellow card for a melee, scored this winning goal, then got sent off. He'll miss the first leg of the 2 semi-finals. But a team where I think a lot of people didn't expect them to do so well at the start of the season have now finished second. And I think the exciting part, for me at least, Alessio, is that Asian Champions League football will be coming back regardless of if it's ACL Elite, ACL 2. There's teams from intercontinentally that will be coming to play at Coopers.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. I think the last time was obviously when we won the league in 15-16, and I actually don't remember going to any of those games. I'm not sure if they were advertised as well, or it was just not very easy to find where the tickets are sold for them. But I'm excited for that to return, and hopefully some midweek fixtures. I was already talking to my nono about him, saying we've got to get a 3-game home game flexi for the Asian Champions League, because they're probably, I think it is 3 home games, 3 away games, just a regular group stage kind of thing.
Well, I think it
And,
depends. If it's the ACL Elite, they use the Champions League format where it's like the 24 teams or whatever. But if it's ACL 2, then I'm pretty sure it's a regular, old school, I guess you can call it, group stage where you have the 3 at home and then 3 away.
But even with the league format, I think you'd still get the same amount home
Yeah,
and away.
maybe,
So
yeah.
it'd be good to see. Just getting a flexi of that. But I've got my ticket as well for the second leg semi-final as well. I know that a lot of them have been exhausted now, so it's going to be a really packed out venue, and a lot of people, I'm sure, are hoping that it's going to be Melbourne Victory in one of them too. But yeah, it's very exciting times in the A-League men's. And yeah, I think that it was a great fitting end to the season. You don't really see many final days in the A-League create so much drama, but hopefully it's a good atmosphere for the games to come.
Absolutely. Very much looking forward to that one. Next, I'll go to David.
Well, I've chosen history this week. It's one of my passions, as you guys know. I bore you to death with it. But this May coming up is History Month in South Australia. So this isn't just a football History Month. It's every year. The History Trust of South Australia have a month where they have exhibitions on and so on. So Football South Australia are on board with this. They're taking part in this History Festival in May. They're hosting a series of sessions at Service FM Stadium, exploring the history of the game in our state. It's called One Round Ball, Football's Connections Across South Australia. And the sessions will be looking at how football's brought communities together across generations, from grassroots to the global stage, through stories, memorabilia, personal experiences. Sessions are running across May and they're free to attend, but they do recommend you make a booking. You can get more information on Football South Australia's website. It all kicks off next Tuesday the 5th at 1:30 p.m. with FSA historian Margaret Bowden and Jake Brindley, who's the FSA Head of Participation in Football. And then there's a session at 11 a.m. On Thursday the 7th. That's hosted by Bess Hepworth and Carla Grimms, coach and goalkeeper coach of the Blind Bilbies. We've mentioned them before in the podcast. That's Australia's the Australian women's blind football team. And on Monday the 11th from noon, 2 of the history group members, Dimitri Economos and Andrew Riley, will be sharing their connections through generational involvement in the game. There are more updates. I'll keep mentioning this as the month of May progresses, as they add events and so on and confirmed events. But it is all available on the South Australia Football South Australia website. The second bit I've got is also historical. It was obviously Anzac Day at the weekend, and I wrote a little piece that was published on the Football 360 website, as well as on Football South Australia's website, on a certain Corporal James Hinson, who was raised in Plympton in Adelaide South, played for Burculla Rovers, as they were known at that point in time, and played for South Australia against Palestine. He was selected to play for South Australia against India as well, and he played in 2 cup finals in 1940. Burculla Rovers played against West Torrens, who are unrelated to the current West Torrens as I understand it, in the Posa Cup final and the Pellico Cup final of 1940. Now the Pellico Cup final is the equivalent of our current day Federation Cup final, and the Posa Cup final is an interesting one because what they did at the end of the season was the team that won the league was crowned the champions of South Australia, and the top 4 sides in the league went into a knockout cup competition, like a post-league cup comp, if you like. And it actually sounds like a decent enough idea. You know, the primary aim was to win the league, and then there was a cup at the end that was considered secondary. He played in both those cup finals against West Torrens. Unfortunately, lost both of them, and that was in September of 1940. But he'd enlisted to go and fight in July of 1940. And I'll very briefly tell you what happened to him. He ended up in North Africa. Won the Distinguished Conduct Medal in July of 1940 at the First Battle of El Alamein, and was then involved in the Second Battle of El Alamein, and was killed in action on the 31st of October 1942, along with 40 other South Australians, at least that I could find records of. One of them won a Victoria Cross for their actions that night, and another one was only 18. He'd only just turned 18 years of age on that night when he was killed. Tragedy, really. So I wrote a little piece on him. Go Google it. Google Corporal James Hinson if you want the full story. And Football 360 is the website that's predominantly carried it. But Corporal James Hinson is the name to Google. So that's my second piece. A little bit sombre this week, and I apologise for that. We'll move on to more jolly things presently.
Well, speaking of history and heritage, Mark, on to you.
Yes, so my pick of the week is the Heritage Round for Playford, which is coming up this week against Para Hills. They do one. They've done one for a couple of years or a number of years now. So they do a Heritage and Memorial Day all in one. So the Memorial game is for Seamus Marin, who passed away a few years ago now, and it's all in aid of Black Dog. So if you can get down there, head down, you'll see Playford playing in their heritage kit. This is the memorial game, which will play prior to that about 2:30. And as you can see, there's some names. I'll just read some out. You've got Andy Allen, Andrew Thompson, Ian Fife, Lee Robinson, Robbie McMillan, Brad Doherty, Matthew Blackwood, Brenton Agar. So some absolute cracking players in that Playford lineup. And then across, obviously on the Para Hill side, you got the likes of Darren Steele, Connell Breton, Matt Cooper, myself is playing. Benny Dale coaching South Adelaide Women's at the moment. Then you've got club long-time players, Paul Jones, Nicky Orr, Kenny Tosh, Michael Greco. And then probably three that stand out the most there is Michael, Daniel and Joe Mullen, who've all said that they will jump in and play as well. So it's and we've also got the likes of Shane Tobias. So we've got some players with some pedigree in both teams. The one that worries me probably the most actually for Playford is Sam Voigt, because he's only just retired.
I was going to say Sam Voigt,
probably
Reece Townsend as well.
Yeah, they're both probably still fit as buggery, where the rest of our team's probably not as fit. But yeah, so we'll kick off at 2:30, and I have to admit I'm liking this. The MC for the day, Simon Mitchell, who is one of SA Radio's sort of guy around the place. He's covered across multiple radio stations in SA, and the ref is the one and only Barry Panella. So for the older folk like me, they'll know Barry Panella as he always wore his shorts too high as ref. But so it should be a great day. It was a great day last year, and then we follow with the Playford versus Para Hills game, and that's the shirt they're going to be wearing this year for their heritage round. So going back to the original red, white, and black colours before they changed to Playford Patriots. A number of years ago now. So very exciting Saturday for us.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we'll be able to get you some content, Seb. Hey.
I was going to say, I'll be there commentating the game, and I'll be there early. As a sneak peek, I'm going to try strap a GoPro to Mark and see how long he can run for having it on. So that will be good fun to see what the perspective of Mike Talbot playing in outfield.
It's not even the of how long I can run with that. It's how long I can run.
And finally, Alessio, to you for your pick. You're in uniform as well for your pick too.
Yeah, I thought two reasons more than one. I mean, it's gone a little bit under the radar as well, but this weekend is the Hills Derby as well, Adelaide Hills Hawks. But before that, of course, a very memorable moment for myself and the club and my team on the weekend, winning our round of 16 cup fixture against South Adelaide Panthers at the State League One Reserves League. Of course, coming into this round, I think even making the round of 16 was the furthest the club had ever been in any of the iterations of the competition. But to make it to the quarterfinals is a massive occasion for the club. It was such a good day out there. Probably one of my proudest moments on the field. Actually got the assist for this first goal as well, which was good. We had a good crowd there. Our whole first team was there watching. Of course, later in the game, a lot of the Cumberland and Noarlunga players were there watching after. But it was a game that was crazy to be in. I mean, 1-0 down pretty quickly. Then within 2 minutes, we're 1-1 and 2-1, and then we concede from the kickoff in the second half, and then some crazy goals to finish it that were quite good as well. You can probably hear from the crowd. It sounded pretty good as well. We had a lot of support there, so that was my weekend. And I think Seb's even got some pictures that our photographer picked up of me and the club captain after the game as well. It meant a lot. I mean, we've talked about it numerous times on here. You don't really get a lot of these moments playing for some of the clubs lower in the league, and specifically up here in the hills, as David and I know. So to get a little slice of our own history, as you see there, is means a lot to a lot of the players here, I'm sure, and a lot of the volunteers who've been here for a long time too. So that was my pick of the week, a massive one. And our cup draw also came out today, and we're actually going to be hosting our cup quarterfinal midweek at home at the Summit. So another big event for us to endure as well. It's going to be a tough one. It's either going to be the Adelaide United youth team or Adelaide Olympic. Their game is still to be played next Tuesday. But getting this far, I think we can beat anyone at this stage. We've got a very strong team, and that's in the future now. It's 2 or 3 weeks away, and now this weekend is the big one against the Hills Hawks away at the Nest. And hope we can carry on our form.
I look forward to seeing you versus Harry Crawford when he's been dropped down to the reserves for the cup fixtures.
I've played against Mohamed Toure and Nesta Irakunda, but now I'm going to have to play against Amara Toure and Chris Irakosi. So it's going to be interesting.
No, perfect. Looking forward to it. And I think the ideal thing is you make the cup final and we get to commentate at Alessio with no bias. In fact, if anything, I think we'd be even less biased towards Mount Barker if you were to play in the cup final. So, yes, very much looking forward to that. On to the next part of our show. Oh, it's a knock at the door. And it's a very far away knock, I think, as well. From maybe even a different country.
I think I worked out that I'm the closest somehow.
What?
Bear with me one
Incredible. Second. Wow. I wonder where this door knock's coming from. Where's this door knock coming from, Mark?
Well, it's the one and only Fiona Worts from currently South Korea.
Hello.
International doors we have on the show now. How exciting. Only the second time we've had that. Fiona, thank you so much for joining us and taking time. I'm sure what is a very busy time in your life, only freshly going over there. But before we, I guess, sort of start on where you are now, tell us about your footballing journey up until, I guess, your juniors back in England to up to now in South Korea.
Started playing with the boys until I was about 10, and then transitioned into academy football, Notts County, Nottingham Forest, Leicester City. I kept having to move. But and then from Leicester City I went into the seniors there. Played there a couple of years, was in South Australia for a year with Adelaide Uni, back to England, sort of started going up the levels a bit. Played championship with Leicester and Coventry United, and then ended up in the A-League. How many years at Adelaide? I did 3 years at Adelaide, 2 years, moved to Norway, back to Adelaide, moved to Sydney, back to Adelaide, and now I'm in South Korea.
So my next question is sort of a two-part question. I guess the first part of is, initially, from England, what gets you to Adelaide University? How do you find yourself here in that first instance?
That was a study abroad, like an exchange year at university. I had to put down 5 choices. Adelaide was my third, and I ended up in Adelaide. So, it was sort of chosen that way, and then I loved it, so ended up coming back.
And then I guess on to your now current move. I guess explaining it from outside perspective, I think it almost comes very suddenly. I guess you've sort of been in the squad the week before, then I think it was a game against Melbourne City you weren't involved in, and then a few days later, you're off. I guess from your perspective, how does something like that come about? Was it a sudden change that came upon you the week before, or was it something that you'd known for a month or weeks prior?
It was a sudden change, but it was sudden for me probably a few weeks before it was for everyone else. We played a game in Brisbane, and I got a message later on that evening about a club being interested, and then it was probably 4 weeks later, maybe, until it was sort of actually going to happen. It's a bit of a process. The clubs have to agree, and then it comes back to me, and we have to agree, and then another back and forth, and so it wasn't until the day before that Melbourne City game that I really knew it was actually going to happen, and then very suddenly had to tell the team and all those kind of things. So it was very sudden. It all happens very quickly, and a few days later I was on the plane.
and now you're with the Incheon Hyundai Steel Red Angels, which isn't a handful of a name whatsoever. A viewer question we got, which I was probably going to ask anyway. How are you finding the cultural differences, I guess, in Korea compared to, I guess, being used to the Adelaide lifestyle, which you've come accustomed to over the past few years?
Yeah, it's obviously very different, but like I wouldn't say I've had a culture shock. I feel like that seems like a negative thing. Like I actually quite enjoy the culture. Everyone's very polite. It's not as friendly out and about in the streets as it would be in Australia. Like in the apartment block, like you get into the lift, like, no one says a word, no one smiles, like that kind of thing. But I think it's more of like a shyness than it is like a rudeness as such. But all the people that I interact with at the club are very friendly. So yeah, I've actually quite enjoyed the culture so far.
And then I guess another follow-up I have to that, which is another question for one of our commentators. The environment of being with Adelaide United here, from my understanding, it's semi-pro here in the A-League. You're professional over there?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of like a difficult, like it's difficult to say that it's only semi-pro in Adelaide because I think when you look at the basis of all the things that you do, like it is as much as a full-time setup as you do here. You still do your training sessions, do your gym sessions, your tactical sessions, and you still, travel for games and can go away for multiple days at a time. I think the main difference really is eating the meals together, which is something we get. I'm getting lunch and dinner at the club, which is fantastic. I cook. I think I've cooked twice, and I've been here 5 weeks. Yeah, we train later in the day. So most of my day is taken up by training, and often it's only 1 day off a week, maybe 2, if we're lucky, if we win. But yeah, other than I think the time that I'm at the club is longer, like there's really not that much difference between the two, other than yes, I get fed all my meals.
And I guess sort of one last one for me, I guess, about the environment. From my understanding, you're the only I think you're one of 2 non-Korean players at the club, the other being a Japanese player.
Yeah.
I guess, are there any other English-speaking? Do you have a translator, I'm guessing, is probably how you're getting most of your information, or is it sort of rough guides?
It's very tough. There's an agent, he's not technically my agent, but an agent that sort of orchestrated the move who studied in the UK. So he has very good English. So I don't know, with some of the bigger things, he is very important. He's not there day to day. Day to day, there's like the team manager, not, sort of in the office team manager, not the head coach. He can speak some English, so he translates. And then the analyst also. But again, it's not completely fluid English, and there's still some difficulties there. And obviously, they're not always there on the pitch. I don't know, you're doing some set pieces, or you're doing a passing drill. If I can see the analyst is stood at the other side of the pitch, I am just sort of stood there being like, "Can someone help me, please? I have no idea what's going on." Some of the girls, they try. There's a couple who can communicate a bit with me, but yeah, that is very difficult. And sometimes you just feel completely stupid because you're the only person who has no idea what's going on.
Absolutely. Alessio, I'll go to you next for any questions.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief. I usually have some fun ones. One, I guess, more serious one. Obviously, when you came over to Australia and Adelaide in the first place, did you kind of have the expectation, or you knew our leagues enough to know where the progression was and where you were aiming to go and end up, or kind of the professional kind of journey and going into professional clubs was something that kind of just came by with how good you were playing, and you just took each step as it came, or was there a progression plan that you were intending to go on or aiming to do when you came to Australia?
Yeah. So when I'd done my year abroad here, gone back to the UK, they reformed the leagues in the UK, and that was when the championship were formed. And that's the first time I sort of got like a bit of a sniff of professional football, because most of the players in that league were in my team were on professional contracts and I wasn't. So it was sort of then I was like, I want a professional contract. That's what I want to do. And then the decision to come back to Adelaide for that second time was I just wanted to. I was working a full-time job trying to get a professional contract, and it was not very fun at all. So when I came back to Adelaide that second time, um, I remember watching whilst I was playing for Leicester, Adelaide United on a small screen in the clubhouse and watching Cote Rojas and Laura Johns play, who I just played with at Adelaide Uni. And I was like, oh, that'd be pretty cool. And then when I had that chance to come out the second time, I think that was what I was hoping would happen, but I had no idea how realistic it was. I just remember saying to my dad, "Oh, Dad, I might come back for Christmas unless I'm playing W League." And 2 days before Christmas, I signed a contract. So it was a hope, but I had no idea if it was really a real possibility.
Yeah. What was some of the favorite grounds you've played at since you've been in Australia, and maybe Adelaide specifically? I know you would have played over quite a few when you were in the WMPL, but is there any that stand out that people might not have expected you to say? Or
The stadiums, they're probably quite obvious answers. Cooper's is like such a lovely stadium. I think anyone that's been would probably understand why. And then Allianz, that's such a nice stadium in Sydney. Just like the way the seats look with nobody in them is very nice. And then the sound, there's just the way the acoustics are in that stadium is like really incredible. So they're definitely two.
and then just the last one from me, I asked to most of our guests that are current players as well. Who is the best players you've played with so far across the clubs you've played for, or maybe some you've come up against as well that you really stood out?
I think Erin Healy has to be one of them. I think when you look at most players, like you look at so many players in our team, and you like Emily Condon, Matilda McNamara, Dylan Holmes, all those players, and you look at parts of their game and you're like, you really admire these parts of their game and different parts of their game. And then Erin seems to have almost all of them. Yeah, she's definitely an all-rounder, and she's still very young. So I think she has to be one of those players. And then Courtney Vine, I only got a very small amount of time to play with her because I got injured. I think it was like 30 minutes. So that was really disappointing. I was quite excited for that one. I moved over. I think they have to be some main one.
Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Mark, for you.
Sorry, I had to unmute before I ask anything. Otherwise, there's no point. Now, you also spent time, as you mentioned, in Norway. It's something that is fascinating for me because obviously it's such a variance to everywhere else. You've gone, like, obviously in England, which is now growing and things like that. But I've always found the Norwegian leagues, the Swedish leagues, very, very big in the female game, very, very strong leagues. How did you find playing over there in Norway? What was that like?
Yeah, it was a difficult experience. Like, obviously, I'd done a move from England to Australia, and that was very different. But that Norwegian move was definitely difficult. I think the time in my career that I did it, I'd come off such a high, and then to go and have a culture shock and not be able to understand the language when I was kind of looking for something a bit more seamless and didn't really anticipate how it was gonna go. Like, that was very difficult. And the style of football over there, I think now maybe the A-League's a bit more similar actually to how it was in Norway. But I remember when I moved at that time, Norway was very physical. And you're like almost learning different rules again. It's the same with coming here. Like, it's like you're sort of playing by different rules. But yeah, the Norwegian move was tough. but I'm glad it didn't put me off doing it again. Yeah. It's tough. And
So-
it's I think a lot of other leagues. I think Norway and Sweden started. Were probably some of the first to professionalize and things like that. But I think a lot of the other leagues now were sort of have stepped up and are taking over a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny you talked about the language barrier there. How do and you've spoken obviously about the language in South Korea, and I find that how do you go about when you're not at the club, when you're out and about, when you're trying to do you hang out with other players and things like that? How do you fill that time when you're not at the club, when you're not training, when you're not at the gym on a personal level? How do you manage that language barrier and things like that? It's not like you're just a tourist because you're living there, so it's not something where a tourist can go there and fumble their way through it. You're there for a little bit longer than what a tourist would be. So how do you manage to deal with that side of it?
Currently still fumbling my way through it, I'd say. But, no, I think the agent helped me get my feet on the ground a little bit with the things like bank accounts, phone contracts, all those sort of things. So that was really helpful. I can see that being such a minefield for someone who doesn't have almost a translator involved in that process, and visas as well. So that a little bit. Also, the time that I'm spending at the club, I get picked up on the team bus at 11 o'clock, and I get home about 5:30. So the vast majority of my day is with the team. So it's only really at the weekends when I have 1 or 2 days I go and explore, and then I am sort of acting as a tourist. Everyone thinks I'm a tourist when I go into the places. They're like asking me if I have my passport and want a tax refund and that kind of thing. So very much fumbling my way through. But that I've managed to, find some English-speaking people to spend some of that time with, which helps. It makes such a difference. It's very strange going a whole week and not actually talking to anyone in your native language because you're a completely different person when so it's nice being able to find some of those people. So currently still fumbling my way through. Maybe I do plan to pick up some more of the language, maybe, or look a bit differently. But
I was going to ask, do they help you with the language? Do they give you a tutor or something like that to help?
No, I don't have a tutor. I think if I asked, I could get some people to help teach me, but I think I would then also need to teach them English, and I wouldn't have a clue.
That's all from me. I'm sure David's got a number of questions. So, David, on to you, my friend.
So I've got a couple of quick questions. I'll try to be quick through this. I went back through some old games that you played in, Fiona. The last one I could find when you were at Fulham was a win against Metro United. You scored a hat trick that day, the last day of 2021 or 20. I'm not sure. Your teammates that day included the likes of Angela Mills, Siobhan Eastham, and Josephine Triboli. And so that prompted me to contact Josephine Triboli and ask her a couple of questions about your time at Fulham. The first thing she mentioned is that you're a twin. I'd forgotten that, but I did remember when I was told, because you and I had done a commentary game last year, the All-Stars game, so I was a bit familiar with you, and you've so the other thing that Josephine's got down here is that when you came over there was an issue with your visa and you ended up working in a potato farm grating potatoes. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, it was I came on a working holiday and I wanted another working holiday, and at the time you had to do 3 months of farm work. So as I was initially trialing with Adelaide United, and then when I signed my first contract with United, I was doing farm work. I was grading potatoes. So I was stood next to a conveyor belt throwing potatoes into a bin if they were bad and letting them carry on if they were good. And sometimes that was 13 hours a day.
Do you ever miss it?
There was something quite therapeutic about how mind-numbing it was. but absolutely not. If you ask anyone who was part of that Adelaide United squad that year, they were like, Fiona was a zombie. Like an actual zombie. I would just be at training. I'd have no clue. I had no clue. And it was just like I'd had 3 hours sleep and then been grading potatoes for 13 hours and then tried to finish as a professional athlete. But thankfully things have moved on a little bit since then.
Well, it's interesting enough here because when Josie sent me that message, she had written grating, as in taking the skin off. And I've realised in the course of this conversation that you were grading.
Yeah,
in other words, picking out the... Yeah, so I lost that one in translation. The other thing is you're an academic, so you studied maths at mathematics, should I say, at university. You got a PhD, is that right?
No, not a PhD, just a bachelor.
What have you got?
Just an honors degree.
Yeah, so I'd forgotten that little bit as well. So just on, while we're talking about the personal stuff, I've been looking at Scotland women's results, very poor. I just wondered, have you got a Scottish granny at all?
Oh, no, we went through this when I was like 14 and 15. I was like, Dad, Mum, are you sure? Nothing. No Welsh, no Irish, no Scottish, absolutely nothing at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's disappointing for, I think the Scottish team as well as myself. But anyway, look, just to your time in Korea, I just wondered about travel. You know, when you've got these away games, what kind of distances are you travelling? I assume it's not as great as you were doing when you were playing here in the A-League Women or the old W League. What kind of distances are you travelling?
Yeah, I can't give you kilometres or miles. I can give you hours. We played, the first game we played was a 5-hour drive. We have quite a lovely team bus, actually. I would describe it as a business class bus. Very nice reclining seats, reclining footrests, big leather seats. Yeah, so we tend to get the bus. The first game was a 5-hour drive. Did that 2 days before, and then the second away game was a 3-hour drive. But that 5 hours the longest. And then, yeah, so some of them I think are 2 or 3 hours. And we take the bus and drive back straight after the game. But it's actually, yeah, it's not too bad. It's not as bad as I was expecting it would be, because it's a very nice bus.
So no overnight stays then? You generally come back, even if it's yeah.
We do before the game, but not after. After we come straight home.
Okay. And look, Korea fascinates me. Have you been up to the demilitarized zone at all and had a look up there? Any intention to go up there or interested in that?
Yeah, I do. I very much have an interest in doing that. I haven't yet because I'm still... Seoul is quite big. It takes me a while to get there. And I get about 1 day a week to go and see it. So I'm still trying to tick that off. And then I'm wondering if I do it sooner or I wait till I have some visitors to go to the DMZ, but we'll see.
Well, you might get the four of us turning up at your doorstep looking for for a place to stay on our holidays. That's all from me, Seb.
Perfect. With that, it's time for
Seb Radio post-production.
Oh, what's Seb doing? Seb doesn't normally do this. This isn't his job. You don't know what's happening. Wow. David's the only one who knows what's going on. My quiz this week. So, Fiona, how familiar are you with the game Football Manager?
Oh, not that familiar.
Okay.
I have in the past, but not for a very long time.
Last year, this year, they added women's football to Football Manager.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you're in it. Who else is in Football Manager that's currently on this panel? Our very own Alessio Carocci. So our quiz today is whose stats are better on Football Manager out of you and Alessio? And this is going to be embarrassing for one of you, but we're about to find out who it is for.
I think it can only be embarrassing for me.
We'll find out. So the way we're going to do this is all four of you are going to play. You're going to have to track your own scores, whether you're right. I'm going to say, for example, I'm going to say a stat, and I'm going to say, Alessio, your score in that stat is 8 out of 20. Do you think Fiona, her stat in that is higher or lower or the same? You give me your answer. I tell you you're right. You keep your points. I've got 10 of these to go through. Keep your own scores, and I'm going to trust you. And that's how it's going to work. So all of these
Can I
ratings
just
are
ask
out
a
of 20.
question?
Of
What
course.
position do you play?
I'm a winger.
Okay, thanks.
So similar sort of player.
Can I
except
can
you're
I
much
ask a
better in
follow-up
real life,
question?
Fiona. Yes, Alessio.
Yeah. Fiona, have you heard of Mount Barker United?
No one has. Don't
About
worry.
45 minutes ago, I did, yeah.
All right. So we'll start with the first stat. Again, these are all out of 20. I'm going to say Alessio's stat for first touch. Alessio, on Football Manager 26, your first touch is rated as an 11.
Out
Do
of
you
what?
think out of 20? So these are all out of 20.
Okay.
So do you think Fiona's first touch on Football Manager is the same, better, or worse? You can all
Higher.
come one by one and say what you think.
Higher.
I'd say she's got to be better. I mean, a striker, your first touch is usually a goal.
So higher for Alessio, higher for Mark. David?
Yeah, I'll say higher as well.
Fiona, do you think your stats higher than Alessio's?
I hope so.
I'm going to take that
I'm
as a
not
yes.
convinced. I hope so.
Okay, I'm going to take that as a yes. You think it's so? You all think Fiona's first touch is higher. You would all be correct.
Oh,
Alessio's first touch is 11. Fiona's is only 12. So it's only just that little bit better. So Alessio, it's a decent start for you. Fiona, we'll see. The next stat is acceleration. So how quick does it take you to get up to your top speed? I'm going to start with Alessio's again. Alessio, out of 20, your acceleration is 12. Do you think Fiona is higher, the same, or lower?
I'm gonna go the same. I reckon I'll go the same if it's.
Okay, David?
I think Fiona up to top speed would be quicker.
Okay, so you're saying higher. Fiona, what do you say?
Yeah.
Did you give the same as an option for last one? Because that's making me suspicious.
I said the same for the first
Okay,
one.
that's
Same,
fine.
same's been an option.
I reckon lower.
Okay, so you reckon yours is lower?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going
Mark?
higher.
Okay. So Alessio's acceleration is 12. Fiona's is also 12.
Hey, there's a point for me.
So exactly even.
I'll keep score. Who said the same?
I said the same.
Okay, Alessio.
Oh, good luck keeping this score. It's going to be difficult.
I
This is
know.
a hard one to do. All right. The next one, I felt this was a fun stat to do. Aggression. Who's more aggressive on the pitch? Fiona, your aggression is rated as a 6. Do you think Alessio is the same amount of aggression? Do you think he's less aggressive, or do you think he's more aggressive?
I think surely more than a 6. I was expecting mine to be a bit higher, to be honest. Yeah, I think higher than 6.
Okay, so you're saying Alessio's is higher than 6. Alessio, what do you think? Do you think you're an aggressive player?
Have you got a red card before, Fiona?
Never.
I
Have
received
you?
my first one last year, so I think mine is higher.
David?
Yeah, I'll say Alessio's angry and therefore higher.
David? Mark?
I'm going higher as well. Honestly, I've seen Fiona play. I think she's pretty tough in the tackle, so I'm surprised it's only a 6.
So Fiona's aggression is at a 6. Alessio's aggression is at 13.
Oh, yes,
Very
angry.
aggressive. You're very aggressive, Alessio. I didn't know you had that side to you.
Yeah,
said
besides
higher
the red,
than
I
the-
think I got 2 yellows, and one of them was for asking for the ref to give someone else a yellow. So I don't know how it got so aggressive. But
Was that Alessio, myself, and Mark that had higher there?
Yep.
I said higher.
Yep. Fiona said higher
You did
too.
all four of
Everyone
us.
said high, I
Okay.
think.
Yep.
Next one, number 4. Concentration. Who's more concentrated playing on the pitch?
Oh,
Fiona,
surely
you're
mine
rated.
is a 2.
You're rated as a 12.
Oh,
So
no.
is Alessio more, the same, or less?
I don't know how they calculate that, because if they had a glimpse into my brain, that would not be my. I'm gonna go the same.
The same.
I'm
Okay,
gonna,
Mark.
I'm gonna go lower.
Lower. Okay, so Alessio thinks he doesn't concentrate. Mark,
I was going to say lower too.
David?
I'm going to say that. Are we saying Alessio is lower? Is it Alessio is the subject?
Yep.
Yeah, Alessio is lower. I would say.
Okay. Fiona's concentration is a 12. Alessio's concentration is 4. So he's really aggressive, but he doesn't really know what he's doing out there. He's happy to put in a tackle, but he doesn't know why.
Yeah, again, this could be concentration on the game or concentration on the ref, because I do like to talk to the refs quite a lot. So maybe that's I'm forgetting about the game.
Who got the points there? Sorry, I missed it.
Oh, not me.
Everyone but Fiona. I think Fiona said the same.
Yep, no worries.
Okay, the next one, number 5. It's a pretty big one. Finishing. Okay. Alessio, your finishing in Football Manager 26 is 12. It's pretty good. So is Fiona the same,
Alessio.
more, or less? That's above average for Alessio.
Yeah, I don't think I've scored 12 goals in the last 10 years. So I would say Fiona's has got to be more.
Okay.
Yeah, Fiona definitely more.
Mine has to be. My finishing has to be better than my concentration. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm doing.
David?
I would have to say Fiona's finishing is superior.
Okay. If you had to have a guess, Fiona, because Alessio's is a 12, what do you think your finishing should be at, if you had to have a guess?
I think it's going to be 13.
So Alessio's has a 12 finishing. Fiona, you have a 14 finishing. So only 2 more than Alessio. So it's not bad. Next one, number
scored
6.
one semi-professional goal, and I think Fiona scored probably about 50 or so
50,
professional league
60,
goals.
70, 80.
Did everyone get a point there? Sorry.
Yep.
I think so. Number 6, marking. Of course, you're both forwards. So Fiona, your marking is rated 4. Is Alessio's less, the same, or more?
We'll go this more.
Okay, you think Alessio has better marking. Alessio?
When you say that, I was thinking about a picture David took me a couple of years ago, and I reckon I'm on the front post for corners, so I don't think my marking will be too great, and I'll go the same.
Okay. David?
I think I'll go same as well.
Just to be different, I'm going to go lower, maybe a 3.
Okay. For marking, Fiona Worts has a 4. For Alessio, he has a 3. So only just one less worse at marking. Number 7 out of 10. Determination. How determined are the two of you? Fiona, your determination is a 10, right in the middle. Is Alessio more or less determined, or is he the same amount of determined?
You're making me wish I'd watched more Mark Barker game.
Trust
No
me,
one's
you
ever
don't.
no one's ever
You
said
don't.
that.
I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Higher.
Okay, you think Alessio has more determination than Alessio? Do you think you're more determined than Fiona? Out of 10?
Nah, I think she was more determined, and she got a professional contract. You can see where I am, so I don't think I have that determination.
David?
I can go lower.
Okay.
Yeah, Alessio is lower, I think.
Okay. Mark?
I'm going to go the same, purely because his aggression is a lot higher.
So, Fiona has a 10 determination. Alessio has a 14 determination. Ooh. So he's determined and aggressive but he can't concentrate on what he's doing, and he doesn't know what he's doing when he's out there. Can't mark. Yeah. All right. Next one. This is a good one.
Did you get that one right there, Fiona?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Next one. Third to last. Strength. Who's stronger? Fiona, you have 13 strength. Does Alessio have more or less?
I think if you're going with high aggression and determination, he's surely showing a lot of strength. We'll go higher.
Okay, Alessio, do you think you're strong?
I think I'm relatively strong. I'll go higher.
Okay, David.
Nah, I'm going lower.
Lower.
I love the logical thought process Fiona's put onto it, and it really made me want to go, yes, that's higher, but I'm still going lower.
Fiona, you have 13 strength in Football Manager. Alessio, you have 2. So, just to recap, you're aggressive, you're determined, but you can't concentrate and you're weak.
Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to be aggressive about. Someone will just touch me and I'm going down. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
It almost feels like they're giving you those as like pity points.
yeah, well, it's so random.
It ranks everything else below. Yeah.
Penultimate one of the
Just
quiz.
Just before the penultimate one, Seb, a scores update for you. Everybody's got 5 points based on my calculations. So we're all level.
Wow, okay. Passing for the two of you. Fiona, your passing sits at a bang average 10 out of 20. Is Alessio better, worse, or the same as you?
Better.
Better, wow. Alessio, do you think you're better?
No, I don't. Again, how many professional assists has Fiona got and how many semi-professional ones have I got? I think it really tells the big difference. I go lower.
David?
I'm going to go with Fiona being higher. I can't remember what the question was.
Is Alessio lower, the same, or more?
He's lower.
Okay, Mark?
Yeah, I'm going to go lower as well.
All right. Fiona, your passing sits at a 10. Alessio, your passing sits at a 5. So he can't pass two.
Your career's just about finished here, I think, Alessio. This is where it ended.
All right. Final one I have, unless we need a tiebreaker. Stamina. How long can you last a 90 minutes? Fiona, your stamina, 14.
Ooh, nice.
Is Alessio more, the same, or less?
I think less.
Less. Okay. Alessio, you're not very strong.
No, well, I mean, I think we just heard before about Fiona's stamina working for was it 10 hours and then training for 10 hours, still being able to perform on the field. So I've got to say she's got to have more and I'll have less.
David?
I'm going to go for Fiona having more stamina than our Alessio. It pains me, but that's where I'm at.
I'm the
Mark?
same. He's going to have a lower stamina. Sorry, Alessio.
Final one, stamina. Fiona has 14. Alessio, stamina, you have 2.
Oh, jeez.
You cannot last any amount of time on a football pitch. When you get out there, you take your first breath, you got to come straight back off.
Maybe that's my
that will be me on the weekend.
Yeah, get the wind. Oh, how good, David. With that, the final scores. Do we need a tiebreaker?
In 4th place with 5 points, Fiona Worts. In equal top place with 6 points each, Alessio, David, and Mark. But I suppose we were a bit unfairly advantaged because we know both players, and Fiona hadn't done her Mount Barker research. So I would say an extra point for Fiona, and we're all level.
Okay, so I can do a tiebreaker. That's fine. I just need to find one. What's a? Let's go with. Tackling. Fiona, your tackling is a 4. Is Alessio's the same, less, or more? Alessio, you have played wing-back in the past as well, haven't you?
Yeah. I was a fullback. Yeah.
We'll go the same.
The same.
I reckon I would say slightly higher. I reckon it's probably like a 3 or a 4, but just higher.
So you think your tackling's higher than Fiona's? Okay, David.
I'll say Alessio's tackling's higher.
Okay, Mark.
On a logical thought process, being aggressive, not having much concentration, but not being able to run out of game, I'm gonna go the same.
Okay, yeah, Fiona, your tackling is a 4. Alessio, your tackling sits at a whopping 1. He cannot tackle.
What's the point of even having the stat? Just
I'm
delete
really
it.
showing this determination.
In training.
On the podcast, obviously bigging us up on the podcast. That's the best I can contribute.
Did that help break any of the scores, David? Do you know? I don't know how
No,
much of a
I
good
don't-
tiebreaker that was.
I think we all got it wrong.
Yeah, I think we did.
I think we all got it wrong.
I'm enjoying this, and we've got extra time, so I'm going to do one more just to finish this off because this is quite funny. Let's go with. What haven't I done yet? I need to look through.
Maybe
them all.
Alessio and Fiona could be the only two that answer this.
Okay.
And then just get them
Then
to
you got
pick.
a winner.
Yeah. Mark and
Okay.
I sit the last one out.
All right. Leadership. Who has more captain-like qualities out of the two of you? Fiona, you have a 9 leadership. Is Alessio more, less, or the same of a captain as you?
Gosh, so what do we know so far? Aggressive and determined, but
That's pretty good stats for a captain, to be fair, if he was to be.
technically horrendous. So I'm gonna go with a higher.
Okay, so you think he's more of a captain than you, Alessio. Do you think you're more of a captain than 9?
Well, I am in the leadership group this year.
Okay,
I'm
that's
gonna go
good.
yes.
So did you both go the same? Yeah, you both,
Yes, I
doesn't
did.
really help, but that's okay. We might have a draw. What was it? Leadership. Fiona, your leadership is a 9. Alessio, your leadership is a 1. You should not talk to anybody at the club because you're going to lead them down a wrong path.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
And I'm going to end it there. It was a draw for first place. Wow. What good fun that was. Oh, how good. We've learned a lot about Alessio today in particular and his footballing qualities, so I'm really happy. And Fiona, we knew plenty about you, which has proven correct.
That was fun.
Oh, that was very, very good. That's just about us done. Any other questions from the three of you before we let Fiona go?
No, I was just going to say
questions.
thanks very much for coming on,
Yeah.
Fiona. It was great. That's the only thing I would have to say. But Seb will cover that anyway in the goodbyes.
Well, yeah, I was going to say thank you for indulging in our silliness. Hope you enjoyed the game. Just to give you a bit of extra confidence going into your next game as well. Just so you know.
Yeah, thanks for having me. That was funny.
We
Thank you so much.
we also wish you all the best for the rest of the season as well. Hope you keep killing it over there and tell people to keep coming back to Adelaide. Like send them our way and stuff like that. Tell them how good a place this is. So,
No,
but
I think it'd be
keep doing what you do
gatekeeping.
because it's awesome.
Thank you.
Last one from me as well. I've got the login to the Mount Barker Instagram, so I'm expecting a follow before you leave. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
No, thank you, guys.
That was
Thank you so much,
incredible.
Fiona. Very good
See
fun.
you. Bye.
Thanks again. Oh, what a good time. See, I can do quizzes just as good, especially if they're based on
I think you
Alessio's.
could do them better. I think you could do them better. That was very good.
I do really enjoy this archetype we have now, Alessio, who's just this really aggressive, who's quick to start. He's got good acceleration. He's quick to start, but can't concentrate. He can't get through more than 2 minutes, and he shouldn't talk to anybody. And he's weak.
It's a bit
It's what we
harsh.
know of Alessio now. Oh, how good. All right, we'll go on to the results of the Buzz weekend. Of course, it was the 2 cups, the women's and the men's. Starting with the women's, Football SA losing 2-1 to Campbelltown City at Service FM Stadium. Cove at home losing 5-0 to Modbury Vista. West Torrens Burkalla 3-1 over Adelaide City. Adelaide Uni getting the play at the University Ovals just on the outskirts of the city. 5-0 against Western Strikers. West Adelaide 6-3 against Sturt Lions. An impressive result from the currently first place sitting WSL side and the WMPL side, of course, in West Adelaide. Adelaide Comets 6-0 versus South Adelaide. Metro Stars losing 3-0 to Salisbury Inter. And Elizabeth Grove losing 7-0 to Flinders United. David, where do you want to start?
I knew you were going to come to me. I haven't got it up in front of me.
Okay, Mark, where do you want to start?
I can start. I'll start with I think probably the Elizabeth Grove Flinders game to start with. A 7-0 win there for Flinders, but great day out for Flinders. Really, really great start, especially with the new coach in play now after the change of coach there. So yeah, great day out for them. 7-0. Hopefully they'll give them some confidence going into the league. But what it does highlight is that it really highlights. We thought like Elizabeth Grove, that mid-table in the WSL. Flinders obviously really quite struggling in the WMPL. So it just I think shows that gulf as well. That it's not easy, even at the bottom of that at WMPL. It shows that difference between the two leagues, or even that mid-table of that league. So, but huge win for Flinders. Hopefully they'll be able to use this as a bit of a springboard. And again, their goal scorers McDonald Hall, Adicott, Frost, Bill scored, but also the one David and I were talking about at the start of the year was Vicky Juma. She scored a hat-trick in the game as well. So obviously, she's doing what she does best. And like I said, David and I, we spoke about this young lady multiple times for Adelaide City when she'd come on, change games, and she's now really starting to score goals at Flinders. And then I guess the other game I can talk about will be the Comets versus South Adelaide. Again, another Comets flying high in the WMPL up against South Adelaide, who are really struggling at the moment, sitting, I think they're bottom of the table in the WSL. So again, just showing the gulf between the two leagues at top and bottom levels. Pridham scoring, Willoughby, actually Pridham getting two by the looks of it. Panigaris doing what she does and getting on the score sheet, which is pretty much a week in, week out sort of thing, to be honest. I think she ended up getting two as well. So, another day out for Comets there and going through. So, unlucky for South Adelaide, they've got a bit of work to do. But I think they'll be more concentrating on their league performance. So, so they were the two games that I'll cover.
David, are you more prepared now?
I've got something up in front of me now that I can talk to. West Adelaide and Sturt. You didn't mention that one, did you, Mark?
No,
West Adelaide and Sturt. Okay, so West Adelaide and Sturt finished 6-3 for West Adelaide. This was a game I think we've talked about last week. We were intrigued as to how Sturt would go. They're flying high in the WSL, or second tier here in South Australia, and playing against the side that's flying high at the top of our top tier, the WNPL. Finished 6-3. Goals from Sky Taka for Sturt Lions, scored twice, and substitute Dakota Marisic came on, scored in the 80th minute. A hat-trick for Bella Nelligan, and I don't know much about Bella Nelligan. Was it, there wasn't a debut there for her, was there?
No, she was a player that I picked as my player to watch for the season. She came from Port Pirie, played in their community division, scored bucket load of goals at like 16, 17 years of age, made her debut round 1 this year, and then scored on debut as well. Only 18 I think, too.
Hopefully I'm forgiven for forgetting that. I knew the name is familiar, and maybe it's from our previous show when you mentioned her. But anyway, a hat-trick for her, 2 goals for Nina Yamada, who's yet to be top of the scoring charts in the WNPL, I noticed the other day. And Ellie Sparrow got the 6 there. So a 6-3 win for West Adelaide. The other game I can talk a little bit about. I've got a little bit of knowledge about. Didn't see, but spoke to the coaching staff. Is West Torrens McCullough 3-1 winners over Adelaide City. The word from there is that Adelaide City played well and pushed their opponents for most of the game. They scored in the West Torrens McCullough scored in the 38th minute through Sarah Chappell. And then Ellie Princess scored in the 44th minute. So a 2-0 lead for West Torrens McCullough just on the half-time break. Ellie Princess own goal. So she scored in the 44th minute for her own team, West Torrens McCullough, and then scored just after the break against her own team in the 48th minute. Excuse me, jesting there. And then, by all accounts, Adelaide City held their own and pushed West Torrens McCullough all the way towards the end. There was just a 2-1 deficit and got caught out at the very end. A goal from Angela Mills in the 93rd minute meant that game finished 3-1 for West Torrens McCullough. But by all accounts, Adelaide City pushed them right throughout the game. I think that's probably all I've got for you. I was going to mention another one. Cove and Modbury Vista. You didn't talk about that one, Mark, did you? Nope. So Cove and Modbury Vista, this was another one I guess that was going to be of interest because Cove, obviously a WSL side, and Modbury Vista are recently promoted from WSL side. That game finished 5-0 for the visitors at Modbury Vista, and they really did most of the damage the first half. They were 4-0 up at half time, and then a late goal at the very end to make it 5-0. So Cove beaten soundly by all accounts. Certainly it would appear that way. But it was a game that we did have our eyes on because, as I mentioned before, we were looking at a WSL side that's recently promoted and has done so far, well enough in the WNPL in that they are competing. They haven't had a win yet, but they've not been far off it. So, back to the league for Cove, and Modbury Vista go on to the next round.
Alessio, anything that you want to finish off on before we move on?
Not really. I mean, I think that it's good to see that Modbury Vista got that first win after a long time of their season, getting some draws, getting so close, showing they can score at ease against a team they probably expect to, and they've probably done in previous years too. But it's good confidence for them to get back into it when they have some winnable games coming up as well in the league. So I think they're in the right direction.
Absolutely. We'll go on to the Men's Australia Cup round 5. Plenty of upsets in this one, starting off with Croydon losing 3-1 to Adelaide Cobras. Gawler Eagles 4-1 loses to Adelaide City at Gawler. Pontian Eagles and West Torrens Burkalla 4-5 the way of West Torrens Burkalla. Cumberland 6-0 over Noarlunga. Modbury and Atletico 0-0 after extra time. But Atletico winning 6-5 on penalties. Para Hills Knights defeating Sturt Lions 2-0 at Para Hills. Fulham 5-3 after extra time against Adelaide Comets after going down 2-0 very early on against Comets did Fulham. And then West Adelaide and FK Beograd playing that sort of league rematch in the Cup. Beograd actually scoring some goals, unlike the league match. One thing I wanted to start off with, because we spoke about it in our chat this week, the Para Hills Knights in the Sturt game brought it up in particular. We're not taking any credit away from Para Hills. I'm sure they deserve a 2-0 win. But looking at the team sheet, it was perhaps a rested side. Mark, you sort of brought up the point of being, and I agree with you, saying what is the reason for resting any players really? Of course, there might be some behind the scenes things. We know that some teams don't pay for players to play in the Cup, might be a factor. But in a league where there's not much football to begin with, and this is technically a week off in an aspect when you think about it, it does seem like a meaningless exercise. From an outside perspective, of course, I have no experience of being a part of a playing or coaching group either.
Yeah, look, I understand why teams do it in the fact they try and give some of the bench players game time so that they are ready when they're called upon, when they're coming off the bench. But that's what reserves are for. That's what your reserves are there for, to give game time. So I'm looking at the Sturt lineup, and I look at 3 of the players they brought in who are all off the bench, in both D'Agostino brothers and Jake Watson. They all got then hooked at 46 minutes. All came off at half time. So for me, you're looking at going, okay, well, it didn't work. So why take the risk? Why not just play a full strength side? Because the fact is, you get through this round, you're one step closer to playing on the national level. And a team like Sturt and the ambitions that the likes of Fusco have and Van der Beek and the club itself have, why not go full gung-ho at trying to get onto that stage? Because I think, like I said, a club like Sturt will do well at that level. They will be okay. Don't worry about the league form, because they're going to be fine in the league at the moment. They're sitting mid-table, I think, around fourth or fifth position. Yeah. So you're going, okay, cool. Why not? Unless you really have to rest players because you've got players that are injured. But when there's, like I said, Jacob Atkinson playing, he's back from suspension, so you're going, yep, cool, no worries. But like I said, the D'Agostino brothers, Watson, haven't started games. Igarashi, he's their import. He's a fantastic player, so I'll be looking forward to seeing him play in the league. But for me, it's like, why take the risk? Like I said, a club like Sturt with ambition, Fusco will not want. He's a man that wants big things for that club. Why not just go gung ho and see where it settles? So I'm a little disappointed because I think Sturt could have gone a long way. If they'd have got through that round, they would have they would have gone, oh, actually, let's take the next one really serious because it's another step closer to that national level. So, and you look at the likes of FK Beergrad who played. They can't afford to rest players at the moment because they've got such a threadbare squad. You look at their lineup and it was a full blown lineup. Like their bench again. The only player on the bench with real experience was Anthony Trimboli. Because he's just coming back from injury. So you're sort of going, right, like they don't have that choice. They got the 3-0 win. They're now in the next round. One more win and they're, you know what I mean? So it's, for me, it's like, I just can't understand it. I said, and I don't mean to pick on Sturt, I'm just saying, but I just thought, like I said, the determination and the fight that Fusco has, I would have thought he would have just gone full blown for an opportunity. But it is what it is. Para Hills got the result in the end with 2-0 win, and it's great for Para Hills because hopefully they'll use that as something to build from into that league and try and build that league form that they needed with goals from Guerrera and Ciani, 38 and 39 minute, like bang, one goal, next goal, and then Para Hills I would have guessed probably really shut up shop because I think that change. Michael Maroney come on, Thanasis Leslie come on, and Gonzalo Rodriguez, who are three of the most pivotal players for Sturt, all came on at halftime to try and change it. So, but great result for Para Hills in the end. It does mean Sturt now can concentrate on pushing for top 6, but I would have liked to have seen a team like Sturt, who, like I said, I've watched a lot of their games this year already. I thought they would go really gun ho and try and get a really go far in this cup comp. So for me, it's a little disappointing, but like I said, I'll expect to see them in finals the way they've been playing.
David Alessio, anything else you want to touch on?
I was going to say, I had good chats with the coaches and some of the players as well. And in my opinion, I think the best way to combat this, if they are trying to rest players, if it's a game like this against Para Hills, you probably expect to win, give those starters 60 minutes and then bring on the rest to get some minutes at the end. Because if you're trying to rest them, the same way they did it in this game where they started the bench players and had to bring on the rest at halftime, those coming on probably have to push harder than they would have if they had started the game. So I think the rest didn't really work there. And as well, Sturt Lions reserves are still in the cup too. So they've taken some vital players probably from their cup campaign and cup tied them as well, just to get some run in their legs. They could have played 90 in the reserves cup, which is still a high competition, and they're doing well in that league too. So I think that's kind of where it is. And I noticed in the past, we've seen it before, Sturt were in a quarterfinal against Adelaide City, and they rotated the team and they made 4 subs at halftime. And couldn't turn it around to lose 4-2. But yeah, I agree with what Mark's saying, especially with how little games are in the league. I think there's no reason not to just take it, especially when they're not midweek. I think we've talked about it plenty of times. When they're midweek, maybe it can make sense. They're trying to get wins and results on the weekend, and it's tough to back up 3 games in a week's span and that kind of thing. But yeah, I agree with what Mark says.
Yeah, and just to add to that as well, I prefaced it by saying, like, no offense to Para Hills, but when you, in this example, Sturt have what looks to be a rested team, for Para Hills' sake, it almost takes away from their own accomplishments, if that makes sense. I think now the conversation's more gone into, instead of being like, wow, Para Hills, a bit of an upset against Sturt, it's now gone, they won, but against a rested Sturt side. So, how much does that win hold value? So I think that's another part of sort of the conversation to weigh into that too.
It is, and the only thing you can do is, and this is what I'll say, is you can only beat the team in front of you. And Para Hills went out and they beat the team in front of them. They did their job. They got the result they wanted, and they can now look forward to quarterfinals next. So, and for them now, they're going, hang on a sec, they've pulled a State League 1 club. They're thinking now we can go to the semis at least. We can get a result over the State League 1 team. So they could really use that, like I said, to make something of their season. Not only fight for staying up, but make something really big and make a semi-final or even the final of the cup. So you never know what can happen for them.
Absolutely. Just before we move on, I do have a bit of breaking WSL news. to go through if we move on. I'll read the statement exactly from the Cove. The Cove FC advises that Tracy Jenkins has resigned as head coach of the Women's State League team. Tracy's decision comes following a recent knee replacement, which will require further significant rehabilitation over the next 6 months. This, combined with her recent retirement and plans to travel, Tracy has made the difficult but necessary choice to step away from her coaching role. So Cove this weekend will have a new manager in the dugout, taking charge of their WSL team, I imagine, for the course of the season. Just to interrupt with that, David, sorry.
Have we finished talking about the cup? Because I just wanted
No,
to
sorry,
touch on...
I interrupted
No,
just to get that in, just while I remembered.
I'd say there's still a few games to cover, yeah?
Yeah, just while I remembered and had it in front of me.
Your timing threw me there a little bit. I had seen that notice come up, but I thought, have we moved on? Because I just wanted to quickly mention, I don't want to dwell on it too long. We've already sort of heading over time already, but Pontian Eagles of State League 2 beaten by West Torrens McCullough, but 5-4. That's a very impressive result for the home side, Pontian Eagles. So I didn't see any cup games this weekend. I took a weekend off. I covered one State League 1 game, the catch-up game on Friday night with Daniel Pauly, and I can talk a little bit about that.
I was going to say, talk about that.
But as for the cup, didn't see any of it. But that's the result that stood out for me. So, a very significant result. George Katsagiannis scoring 2 goals for Pontian Eagles. Mohamed Toure with 1, and then Jonathan Spokiejack. And I don't know the gentleman, and I apologise for that. But the first name spelled Vohnathan, and then Spokiejack's surname. So. No need to mention West Torrens McCullough's goal scorers, but I bet they got a fright that night. So well done, Pontian Eagles.
Absolutely.
And I was going to say, just to continue on with that, David, that result, even though they did lost, was against a full-blown Burkalla side. You look at the lineup, and Burkalla played their full-strength side. Like, they didn't rest anyone. So they played it. And funny enough, I thought they might rest a couple of players. The only player that probably was rested was George Blackwood. But and again, it's just one of those things. Like I said, you can only beat the team in front of you. But it was interesting. I just had a quick look at that. I was going to say, do you want me to continue, Seb, with a couple of the other quick results?
Please do.
While we can. Fulham beating Comets after extra time. Fulham, as we mentioned earlier, Comets taking quite an early lead, 2-0. And then Fulham getting a few goals. Onga, Caruso, Centofanti, Hayes and Scalzi. And the Hayes goal was actually an own goal for Fulham. Gomukeza scoring 2 goals for Adelaide Comets, Dorsey scoring 1 for them. So that finished at 5-3. So Fulham now, I think, will probably be thinking that they've got a great chance to go through again and cause another upset. Probably the cup set of the rounders, obviously the Cobras Croydon game, which we mentioned 3-1. Cato scoring for Croydon.
Again, another full-strength team.
Exactly right. Adelaide Cobras, Nick Harper scoring 2, Williams scoring 1 goal there to finish 3-1. And again, like I said, Croydon having effectively a full-blown lineup there. They've tended to struggle a little bit at home, Croydon, at times. I've watched them a couple of times. They've tended to struggle just a little bit at home. So great result there for Cobras, obviously. And the other game, there's 2 other games, obviously. Cumberland, Noarlunga. Cumberland smashing Noarlunga 6-0. I'm not sure, Alessia, I think we were getting updates from you on that one. I reckon, was it yourself that we kept getting updates from? But Balamba scoring, Shearer, Ekeland, Bergerman, Scott and Wellington all scoring for Cumberland. Noarlunga not able to get anything out of that game. But Noarlunga I don't think would be too concerned, because I think they'll push for promotion. They'll try and get into those finals in the State League 2 South. And Adelaide Atletico coming up against Mowbray Jets, finishing 0-0 at full time and extra time. Adelaide Atletico having an absolute stellar year coming up. Obviously, it's only their 2nd season, so doing absolutely fantastically. And I don't have the goal score, like the penalty takers, but a great result for Adelaide Atletico to get through to the next round and put themselves in the chance. I said when we look at the draw, we'll have a look at it, but we already have, but you know what I mean? It's a great opportunity for those SL1 clubs.
And just for everyone, an interesting point, just on that draw, they have to be played midweek, by my understanding. So Atletico, although hosting the game, I do believe that they might have to find an alternate venue because they don't have the lighting, which would be very unfortunate for them. And I'm not sure about some of the other clubs. I'm not sure about Para Hills because they don't ever really host night games. I'm not sure about their lighting situation. But that's just the word that I received today. That it's possible that they might not be able to host because that's to be played midweek.
I'd be surprised if Atletico don't have a lighting because that pitch has always had night games in the past. So that'd be interesting, unless obviously the lighting's now too old and it hasn't been upgraded. But there's been night games there previously, so
that's Enfield's old ground, right?
Yes,
it is. Yeah, it's Enfield's old ground. I remember playing when I was at Seaford. We played a night game there against Adelaide Victory. So that'd be interesting.
You were playing so long ago, they probably used candles.
Yeah, pretty much. I think they had about 50 candles in each corner. So,
Alessio, anything that you wanted to touch on?
No. Yeah, I was at that Cumberland game for a brief period. They're playing after us, but yeah, very very commanding team, Cumberland. They're just going up and up in the State League One, and yeah, as we said, I think these are probably 4 of the top 6 State League One teams. So it's good to see some representation from them.
Absolutely. All right, we'll go on to our predictions. But first, Alessio, how did we do in the Cup week?
poorly.
Yeah. It was
I should,
not
I
too
think I should
bad.
have an extra point or two.
I did.
Yeah, we picked up some points across the board. I had a perfect result. I think was for. I'm just getting it up now. There was some I was very close to. It's like the WSL Comets women won 6-0. I had 6-1. I believe mine was for Salisbury Inter women 3-0 over Metro Stars.
Yeah.
Seb had a 4-pointer for Campbelltown City women. He got the winner and the correct score. So that's 4 points, but it didn't go to extra time, so he didn't get the 5th. Mark had a 2-pointer, which was
Is that the Modbury Jets game?
It was the Fulham game, I think.
Oh, okay.
And it went to extra time, and you picked the winner, but not the correct score. So, yeah. Otherwise, that puts the leaderboard a bit closer again. Seb 175, Mark 170, me 167, and David 155.
That's not closer.
It looks closer to me.
It looks close. The top 3 look close.
This is the guy who can't count.
But he's really determined to try.
Yeah, determined.
He lost concentration somewhere along the lines.
Oh, Lacey, you're never going to live that down.
All right, on to our predictions.
Kind of glad I don't play anymore.
I know. Maybe I should go. When did you stop?
2019, 2020 maybe.
I might need to go back and look in the archive, see if I can find
Somewhere
it. You might
around
be in there.
I doubt it.
On our predictions, round 6 for State League 2, the fixtures for this week, just to recap. Pontian versus Anglevale, Port Adelaide versus Gawler, Northern Demons versus Elizabeth Grove, Mowbray Vista against Barossa, and Elizabeth Downs versus Salisbury into a sole match on a Sunday afternoon. The game we're predicting is Pontian Eagles versus Anglevale. I've gone for a 2-0 Pontian win. Anglevale currently probably the big surprise of the State League 2 at the moment.
I'll go 4-1 Pontian.
I'll go 3.
No, you go, David.
I'll go 3-2 Pontian.
I'll go 3-1 Pontian.
I'm sure the Anglevale fans will be happy to hear about that one.
Apologies.
In the south, Noarlunga playing against Vipers, Uni playing against Seaford, Western Strikers against Titans, Gun United versus Plimpton, and the game we're predicting is Adelaide Hills Hawks versus Mount Barker. Fiona Worts' new favourite club. I've gone for a 3-2 Mount Barker win. Alessio, you really got to back him this week, otherwise I think your captaincy is already at an all-time low. So
yeah. I think this one would be a very tough one to predict. I think Hawks have got 0 points, Mount Barker have 1, So both of them are looking for at least something out of this. I'm going to go 2-1 Mount Barker.
Where's it at? Is it at the Hawks Nest
At
or is it at the
Hawks.
Summit? At Hawks.
But it's still relatively. I saw a picture of it on the weekend. It's still not too wet or anything, so I think it's in good condition.
I'm going to go for the Adelaide Hills Hawks winning this one 3-2, and their slow and steady march to promotion this year. So Hawks to win this one 3-2.
And I hear they're very
They've only been losing
and
games
determined
by,
about it too.
Well, they've only been losing games by the odd goal here or there. I mean, I know that they haven't won any, and Barker have got that one draw. But Hawks are, they've only been losing games by the odd goal here or there. Barker have been getting pumped.
Mark?
So,
I'm going 2-2 draw.
Nice.
am I the only one that's picked a
Fencing.
Hawks win?
Yep, correct.
Oh, God. That's me further away if they lose.
In the WSL round 8 for that, Cove versus South Adelaide in a Southern Derby, Modbury Jets versus Adelaide Jaguars, Western Strikers and Elizabeth Grove. But the one we're predicting is Sturt Lions at home to Adelaide City. I've gone for a 3-2 win at Carina for Sturt.
I'll go 3-1 Sturt.
I'll go 2-1 Sturt.
Gosh. I'll go a 2-2 draw.
Oh, no, nice fence sitting there too.
Yeah. Can I
Remember
tell
what
you
happened
what Paul
last
Morris?
time we all tipped against Adelaide City? Was it? Did we get some predictions by some of the players saying that? I can't believe you guys all thought. Yes.
Yeah. No, it might have been
Get
against
ready for
Sturt.
that.
It was I think it was a few Sturt players or few. No, I can't remember who it was. Maybe.
I'll tell you, I spoke to Paul Morris. He said a loss would put them 8 points behind. That's Adelaide City, and a big gap to make up, but still 13 games to go in the season. But a 3-point win for them can change things very quickly. We'll go into the game. They go into the bay, and this is City in the back of a very good performance against Berks, where the score we feel didn't reflect the game. So they've got confidence going in. They don't see it as a title decider. They're treating it as just another game in their quest for promotion. Tough league to get out of. But usually the best team over the 21 games will get direct promotion. So we'll see come August who that is.
On to State League.
I still don't think they'll win.
State League 1 for round 8. Fixtures being Atletico versus Jets, South Adelaide versus Adelaide Olympic, Cobras versus Cove, Fulham versus Croatia Raiders, Blue Eagles against Cumberland, and the game we're predicting is at the bottom of the table, Salisbury United at home to Eastern United. I've gone for a 3-1 Salisbury United win. Choo-choo.
I'm going 4-2 Salisbury.
God, I'll go.
You're not going up in their rankings, Alessio, very clearly in Eastern.
I'll go. He's got to pick what he thinks. Good on you, Alessio. You showed courage, and determination, even if you don't have a clue what you're doing. Yeah. Oh, it's picking Alessio night tonight, isn't it? I'm going to go for. I'm going to back you, Alessio. I'll go for a Salisbury United win in this one as well. 4-3.
Mark.
2-1 Salisbury.
All in agreement on that one. In the WNPL, Flinders United versus Metro Stars, Football SA versus Salisbury Inter, West Adelaide versus West Torrens Burkalla, Adelaide Comets versus Campbelltown, Modbury Vista against Adelaide Uni. The game we're predicting is Flinders United versus Metro Stars, another bottom of the table clash. 2-1 Flinders for me.
Where's it at?
Jeps Cross.
I'll go 2-1 Metro.
I think I'll go Metro as well, 3-2.
I'll go 3-1 Metro.
Tell you, Flinders win it. Modbury Vista might be in a wee bit of trouble.
Finally, on to the men's NPL for round 8. Campbelltown versus Croydon, Sturt Lions versus Adelaide United, Playford versus Para Hills, of course, Beograd versus Comets, West Adelaide versus Metro. And the game we're predicting is West Torrens Burkalla against Adelaide City. 2-1 Burkalla for me at Jack Smith Park.
What was that? Sorry, you said who?
2-1 Burks
Okay.
for me.
Against City.
Yeah. Tough one.
Difficult as well, yeah. I'll go for a City win in this one, 2-1.
I'll go for a City 3-2.
Are you on this game, Mark?
I am on this game, yes. I had to think about that. I had to think about that then.
You had to think about it.
I'm going to go a 2-2 draw.
You must love fences, Mark, because you're sitting on plenty of them.
Yep. I just can't pick it anymore. Normally, whatever I go for, you just got to go the opposite. So if I stick with a draw, it's better than...
Perfect. That's us. Just about done for another week. Anything from the three of you before we finish off once again?
I'll go first this week, if you like. I just wanted to say, so we get these amazing guests on. So it was huge to have a player like Fiona come on tonight. The fact that she's playing effectively pro football in South Korea. And it's, so we all sort of joke around and things like that on the show, but there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes, and David does a lot of that work. So the fact that he's able to get Fiona on the show, huge credit to David. So thank you very much, David, because like I said, you get these amazing guests, and we occasionally chip in with a guest here and there. But you do all the work behind to get these guests, and to get someone like Fiona, like I said, a pro footballer playing in South Korea at the moment, it's just massive. So it was awesome to have her on. Absolutely brilliant that we're able to get a guest like that. So David, thank you very much. And I'm sure everyone loves it. And the other thing is, obviously, if anyone wants to sponsor, please reach out and let us know.
Absolutely. David, Alessio?
I'll go next. Seeing as we're talking about the guest there, I don't know if, Seb, if you can ready that photograph I was just going to bring up. So people who are watching on YouTube will get the benefit of this. Fiona and I did a commentary game last year. We did the All-Stars game versus Adelaide United at the end of the year. And I'd done these games with commentators prior to that. And but Fiona was just absolutely brilliant in terms of her character and so on, and her personality. I just felt we got on really well. She might disagree, but I felt we got on very well. But as an example of her character, at the end of the game, when everyone was packing up, you know, a lot of the co-commentators offered to help, but they don't need to. But Fiona stayed behind. Was keen to help me pack up and so on. She could easily have just run down and gone over to the Adelaide United team and walked off, but she didn't. So she was an absolute gem that day. She was a gem tonight. We really appreciated having her on. But the photo that Seb's just about to bring up, for those who can see this on YouTube rather than listen to it, was captured by Antonis Pagonis. And I do like to caption that the time that Fiona and I were fighting, because it looks like we've just had a mad argument between ourselves. But we didn't. We got on very well, but that photograph's a bit of a favourite of mine. So thanks to Fiona. She's probably not listening anymore. She's probably off trying to work out how she can watch Mount Barker United this weekend.
Alessio, anything that you've got to finish us?
Not just the usual. I mean, go out to your grounds. There's a lot of massive games this weekend. We talked about the Para Hills Playfit game, the Sturt Lions women versus Adelaide City women, obviously the Hills Derby. There's obviously some other big ones, Adelaide City, Bacala. So they're all across those two days. I think there's none on Sunday. So yeah, make sure you get out to those, because those are really big games for a lot of the clubs, and especially all the local ones in the lower leagues as well. Please go out to them, because it means a lot. So make sure.
Absolutely. Thank you to you, Alessio, for being the brunt of the joke tonight. Very much appreciated. But it's also your fault. You're the only one that still plays, and you're the only... If I could do it with Michael David, I would have done it too. So you're very...
We could send a video of them playing and see what the stats would be from that.
We didn't have video in my day, man.
Yeah, no videos in my day. I appeared in a couple of black and white photos. That was about it.
Yeah, on the pitch. Stay still. Stay still. No, very good. Very good fun tonight. Thank you to the three of you as always. Make sure to like, follow all of our content and everything. As we said, we're going to try film some stuff on Saturday, Mark, for your Memorial game. Whack some stuff on you, make you run around.
Yes, definitely.
Be funny,
Sounds
you
like
know,
I might
do
be,
your thing.
I might be in goal in the second half as well, so it'll be even funnier when I can talk to players at corners just to annoy the crap out of them. So we'll see how
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing that firsthand. But yeah, thank you again for listening, watching, however you consume this. Very much appreciated. We'll be back next week. I can't remember who our guest is, but I'm sure they're very good. But we'll be back next week. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the football. We'll see you then. See you around the place.
See you then.
And we look like we're heading to extra time, but there's still 5 minutes to play here, Mark. And by all means, there could be more chances. Still in the box, and it's another goal! And it's Andre Cole, the hero for Croydon! We thought it was over, but it's not over, and Croydon look like they're going to go all the way to the win!
We can't say that now. Here goes Yuki Sasaki into the area. Penagaris, Chrissy Penagaris. Adelaide Comets have taken the lead.
Falcon there, but it leaves Owen Windsor. And a third for Metro Stars.
Here's Emma Ryan. She's not one of them because she's from Darwin. The shot from DeCola. Lily DeCola scores in the cup final again and wins it for West Adelaide.
As the ball cuts back here to Odenwalder. And James Odenwalder scores. He makes it 2-0 for West Adelaide on the day.
I bet he was going to be Travella if he puts one in. He goes himself instead. And it's still Soy Sakani! It's unbelievable, David, as well. And that one is definitely going to be credited to him.
Will have to be chased down by Rapuano. He'll put in a cross of his own. Hobbs wasn't able to capture it. It's in! It's not the one that seals out the Atletico promotion.
I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too. Yeah, we're doing this thing.